love who you want to love.
Thank you, Joey.
Use my expression.
No.
All right. Next we have we have a commercial meeting, second and fourth. There's a couple commercial meetings for anybody who's interested. There's one in downtown LA, and that's on the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month, as at the downtown LA KW. And then there's also one, I believe, every Tuesday at the Beverly Hills office for anyone who's interested, pitching their, pitching your commercial properties or learning more about the commercial opportunity.
And who in our office would you think like deals mostly with commercial and?
Well, we have a couple people, Eric Schulman and Christina does a commercial. Everybody does a little bit of commercial. Who's focused Byron Field, but he's like one of the top agents here, and he works from Florida and does probably sells probably about 30 or 40 properties a year. Yeah, so mostly multifamily. Richard does mostly hotels, but these guys do commercial. Everybody has their hand in multifamily at least, right? Christy has sell your value and sign buyer's representation agreements. This is about the conversation, right? You want to build up that understanding and musculature of how to have these conversations, or you're going to become a discount broker real quick. People. I heard a conversation this morning on one of the calls, and agents. The less confident agent moves to discount.
Don't do
Usually
it.
5%, but I'm going to do it for you for 4%, right? They're going down just because they don't want to have the hard conversation. They don't want to have the value conversation. And it's just, guys, it's a learned skill, right? You have to apply yourself to it. There's a reason why, there are top agents out there who get 6% listings. They're able to have the conversation at a higher level and able to not justify, but get the buy-in of their clients at that higher cost because of the confidence they instill in getting the clients the best result in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassle. So it's not a new conversation. It's just now it adds another layer of complexity or importance to this, you being a skill-based, relationship-based business owner, agent, right? Skills and relationships. You gotta build them both. And sometimes it's harder to make that conversation with people and you have a relationship with than it is to have it with strangers. But regardless, you have to, the more you can exercise this skill, the better.
And I'm starting to see a lot more very low buyer compensation. So if you want to make a living.
Right, protect your way of doing business and your standard and your pay schedule, right? You have to protect it. There's going to be agents who are going to go straight to the bottom. They're going to be that. But the skilled agent is still going to maintain. They will respond. Today, title class, 2 p.m. in person. Haley, how to read a prelim report. Also, tomorrow is the lovely Phil Atwan, who is Everything 1031 Exchange. This, I believe, Charlotte, you said this is a part 2 kind of thing?
That's my understanding. Samantha, is this going to be recorded? Do you know?
Is this, first of all, is this in person or only
It's in
Zoom?
person.
In person?
He's gonna be here?
He'll be here, right? He'll be here, yeah, yeah.
He did a class about 6 months ago that sort of laid out the basics of what the 1031 is, so it would make sense that he would be building on that. I'm sure he's gonna do a recap
Yeah.
though for those that
Small.
weren't there.
Yeah.
Is it on Zoom as well?
If we get enough turnout, yeah, we can
Put
put on
on Zoom.
Yeah, I'd love to have it recorded.
Yeah, because that way we can look back. That'd be great.
I just want to say that Phil is great. I have worked with him. I have referred clients to him. He's a great resource. He's worked on so many 1031 exchanges all over the
He's very
place.
patient. He's a very patient guy.
Yeah, and he's
pricing is
great with clients, like he will explain everything and you're like, so he is really a great resource and part of everybody's team.
You
So,
want to know Phil. You
Yeah.
want to have Phil on your team for sure. Because it's, again, it's another tool in the toolkit of how you can service your potential clients.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, we just had a client who did a 1031 exchange, or they're doing one after the purchase.
Yeah.
I was like, huh? What is
Yeah,
that?
I
Phil?
did one of those last year.
Reverse,
It's a
yeah.
reverse
Yeah, I've
exchange.
never heard of a reverse 1031.
It's much
exchange.
better for
Yeah.
buyers.
Yeah, it's great, but
If you're in shape to do that.
thanks, Phil. I was like, do a what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great option in a seller's market when your client is, that timeline that you get on with the 1031s can be very daunting.
Mhm.
So the reverse allows you to buy the property first before you sell.
Excellent.
Rachel, did you have anything?
No, I thought you had something. I was trying to get them to go to you.
Okay, so I would just say this is also a great event. If you have agents that you'd love to work with or work here, I think this is a great event to invite them to also. Would love to.
Yeah, and to that point is, my attitude about our education and support systems are, there's an open door policy, right? If somebody needs the information, I'm willing to contribute to the community. They have to show up, but that's their problem, right? Morning show.
We had a great one this
Friends.
morning.
Yeah.
We did. Melanie got all dressed up for it. It was great. It was great. Just so supportive, especially in these times where things are a little uncertain,
Yeah.
to be able to talk everything through and be there for each other. We're all just super grateful. And would be more than happy to welcome any of you who haven't been on or haven't been on lately.
It's always an open door. Command training this week, we have new agent orientation, command mobile app overview, command overview, database overview, and getting started. Great. Use Scott Leroy, please. Mentee meeting, 12:30 after this meeting. Brokers open. There was a lot of stuff yesterday too. There's a lot of stuff coming up in the market, for sure. Yeah, right? There's a lot of properties coming out
It's a little quiet in this area.
in this area. You know, it's a wait. Yeah. But I mean, a couple of weeks ago, it was crazy in this area, right? Yeah. Sold through that already, probably. Flow coaching every Monday and Thursday, 10 a.m. Investment Network, they have their Zoom strategy every Monday, 10 a.m.
What is that exactly? Is that for agents to
Did you
become?
miss- what is the call for?
Yeah.
You know what the service is. The call is, how do I use this tool to garner business?
Mhm.
How to find business using
Okay.
this tool, which is an opportunity, I think. Book club, met for the first time yesterday, I believe, right? Start with one? Yeah? You-
We met, but we didn't have, we said it was going to change.
Oh, we're gonna reboot it?
It may have to change.
Okay, well, let me know. But that's a great book, and there's your Start with Pride, and we listened to that already. Excellent. Core Services, Miss Sandy, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good.
Hold
Hold on just for a sec.
Hold on. We still don't have Sound. Ridiculous.
Where's Brian?
I don't know. Hey. Yeah, he must have. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, you guys.
Online, it looks like she should be able to.
Well, they can hear you online, Andy, but we can't hear you here.
Oh.
Are you talking? Say something, Andy.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, must be nice. The people in the front row can hear you.
Let me see, hold on.
Oh, gosh.
I'm so sorry. I'm not really sure what to do.
No, can you guys hear her in the back? Could you hear her at all?
No.
You can hear a little, huh? Yeah.
Can you
Or
just turn the
come up a
volume
little.
way up?
It is all the way up. That's the problem.
What if I turn my volume up? Is that better?
No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
no.
connecting
That
to
might
the
be
choir.
I don't know if this thing we can get to work.
Then maybe the battery.
Yeah.
Bluetooth?
Yeah, this is Bluetooth, but it's not charged because no one had the foresight to think of that.
What about the one
Andy,
that's
like,
above?
go ahead and we can repeat.
Hey,
We
Andy,
hear from
yeah.
the front row, we can repeat.
There you go.
Okay, well, not much to report. Rates are holding steady. We've had a little bit of volatility since the big break last week. We've lost a little bit of those gains. Couple of factors playing in. But looking ahead towards the end of this, we're at the end of the month, but the Treasury and the Fed are going to start buying bonds, which should help. The PCE, or personal consumption expenditure, numbers come out on Friday. That we're anticipating a break on those, and that's the Fed's favorite inflation read. So keep your eye on that. Case-Shiller also just came out with appreciation numbers for March as well as year over year. Home appreciation in March was up 0.3% and up 6.5% year over year. That obviously is a strong read given what the media has played out for. Can you guys hear?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So appreciation is up 6.5% year over year, and that is a national average. So, along the lines of having conversations with potential buyers who are sitting on the fence, purchasing a home is the quickest way to gain and grow wealth in this country. So, appreciation isn't going anywhere despite negativity in the media and what people have thought would happen during these weird times and higher interest rate environment and et cetera. So keep your eye on the PCE numbers on Friday, and we're trucking along. Eventually we'll get a break.
Have they announced, Andy, when they're gonna start doing the bond buybacks?
They talked about the end of this month and into June for the Treasury to buy them and the Fed to also purchase bonds. So we'll see what that looks like. That we've talked about this before, but during COVID, that's how interest rates, mortgage rates specifically, got as low as they did, is because the Fed and the Treasury were buying mortgage-backed securities, and that drives down interest rates. So we should see a break there. And also keep your eye on unemployment. It's coming down the line, and that'll be a good indicator as well for the Fed, and could push them in the direction of lowering the Fed fund rate. That's all I got.
Yeah. All right. Well, at least we're going in the right direction.
We are. Slow and steady.
Is that good? Is that good? Rich Paisani, how you doing today, Rich?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you. This is the first meeting I believe that I'm at this office since I got back from DC for NAR meetings. And of course, the topic at NAR was the lawsuit. And they did, I think I sent an email out a while back that the date that the change is going to take effect is August 17th. So that's the date when all these these procedural changes are going to take effect. Probably Andy mentioned last week that the VA plans to temporarily lift its ban on buyers paying for their buyer's agent's commission. So that's a good sign. I know that I was in a couple of meetings with legislators, and that was brought up a lot, to get some movement on that. And the other topic that, surprisingly enough, at NAR was squatters. All across the nation, it's an issue. I know that we have a big problem here, but it is a problem all across the nation. And if you have a vacant property, you really need to be diligent in making sure that, for one thing, put a no trespass sign. I believe that that's a requirement for for the police department to do anything. If you don't post a no trespassing sign, I think that they say that their hands are tied or whatever. Make it look inhabited, lights going on and off and all that stuff. But that's a big problem all across the nation. The end of the month will be a big release of new forms and revised forms. So be on the lookout for that. I'll do a class about them, as we get closer. So
Run those forms in tandem with the old forms for a while? Is that usually what they do? They run
no,
those in tandem? No,
Nope.
they just turn on,
If-
turn off.
right, exactly. Yes. So if
Yeah.
there was a form that was revised, then the old form is no longer available, and then new forms are new forms. So
And this is the end of May, Rich?
Like
end
in
of
2 days?
June, end of June.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's it. Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
still confused about something you said last week regarding the new form. So if we're in contract with buyers and sellers, we agents are in contracts with them, at what point are we required to switch to the new forms? You mentioned that we had to change.
Only one form, I think.
Well, what form? It depends on what form you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Buyer broker agreements or listing agreements?
Okay. Buyer, until they're revised, you use the old one, and then the minute that they're changed, the new one is in effect. So
That, but if you have an old one that's in effect, so if I just signed a buyer for a year,
right.
for example, do I have to redo my buyer broker agreement with that person? And if
No.
so,
No, you already have an existing agreement with them. Nothing
Okay.
really is going to change as far as the buyer broker agreement. The listing agreement, theoretically, it doesn't really change. There may be something in the new form. I have to look at the red line version. They do have the red line versions on car.org if you want to take a look at them. So there may be something in the new listing agreement that may need to. I don't think you would have to do a new listing agreement, but you may have to do some sort of addendum. But right now it's just business as usual, and moving forward on that date. The only thing that's going to change on that date is that you absolutely are going to have to use a buyer broker agreement, and from that date forward, and there will be no offer of compensation in the MLS. It'll just disappear outright.
so I'm sorry, but I'm a little confused, and I'm not sure if it was you last week or somebody else that said this last week. It could have been John Barentine, yeah. That what was said last week was that if we had a listing agreement in place but were not in escrow, we would have to re-sign the listing agreement at a
I
certain
haven't
point.
heard that. I hadn't heard that.
It was
So,
John, said it?
Yeah, it wasn't Rich.
Okay.
It was anybody, it was, yeah, I think it was John.
And
Said something like that. I don't know if it's specific to the listing agreement or what, you know.
Rich, can I ask you a quick question?
sure.
Already addressed this. The new buyer broker agreement, it has an end date of 3 months, correct?
It will, yes.
Is
And
there,
it can be extended indefinitely.
oh, so on the original signed form, you can do that?
Right, and
Fabulous.
that's only because with the law that's gonna go into effect in 2025, that's in the law, that it can only be 3 months initially, and then it could be extended after that.
So in that initial signature of the form, there's a box you can check to make it longer than 3 months?
No, initially, it can only be 3 months, but at the end of that 3 months, it could be extended.
But you still have to deal with it every 3 months. You can't,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
can't.
Well, not
modify-
every 3 months, it's just saying that the initial is 3 months. There's nothing, to my knowledge, that says after the 3 months, it's in 3-month increments. I think that you can extend it, more than 3 months after that initial 3 months.
You could ostensibly sign it for 3 months and then the following day do a modification extending it to a year.
After
Great
the
idea.
3 months expires, not until after the 3 months expires.
And honestly, Rich, as someone who has always had these signed by my clients, I can say this is where I find an issue. Because I always have it for a year, and if you're helping someone for 90 days, that's not a very long time to be helping a buyer. And I have helped buyers sometimes for years. But in this case, at the 3-month mark, if you're looking, they get a sort of sense of, and that's a hard moment to have them re-sign, even if you've been busting your ass. So that's why I am really concerned about just that short period of time. 6 months would be so much better. I know it's
Well,
like,
here's what the problem is that we're moving forward with legislation. And there's committees that get together, and within these committees, they were adamant about the time frame, and CAR decided to back that, as opposed to not having an agreement that covers all salesperson, because not only they want something that covers those that are MLS only. And they made this compromise of the 3-month compromise in order to get that, so that there are agents out there who don't belong to any associations, so they're MLS only. So they want the law to pertain to them, just like it pertains to everybody else who belongs to an association. So that was the what I lost my word there. That's a compromise that they made. I hear you, but it's not going to change. I can tell you right now, it's not going to change.
So from a date perspective, so we understand new forms will be out by the end of June. The old forms will go away. So if you haven't signed a listing agreement or a buyer broker agreement with somebody before the end of June, you'll be looking at the new forms. And in the buyer broker agreement, currently in the draft, it's a 3-month form.
Correct.
Then as August 17th is when we are required to use it.
Correct.
And January 1st is when it becomes California law.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
They're figuring January 1st. It's moved out of committee, and it's moving its way through the legislation. So it's a good guess that it's going to happen by January 1st, 2025. Yes.
And then I have another annoying thing is the DOJ just said the whole buyer broker compensation, they don't want it anywhere.
Right. Exactly. The DOJ, which has no bearing on this settlement, let's remember that. The DOJ is not involved in this lawsuit, but the DOJ can insert themselves as giving an opinion, just like they did with another lawsuit in Massachusetts a few months ago. But they are speaking against there being any compensation being offered. Point
So they
being the
want it
concessions, huh?
coupled. They want
I'm
it completely coupled,
Right,
correct?
but they're not a party to, but remember, they're not a party to this.
No,
Now,
I understand that.
the judge doesn't have to take this into consideration, so it just is, this could settle, we could move forward. DOJ can, they want to bring back, they backed out of the agreement that they made in 2020, and they're probably going to keep pursuing that. So we just have to take this one step at a time.
Okay.
But I know that the DOJ doesn't want any offer of compensation.
Yeah, let's table this for another time. Rich, you're always, a stimulator of conversation.
Yes, exactly. I'm always the bad news. Okay, thank you.
Give or take. We still love you, Rich. It's all good. Duncan, on the lighter side.
On the lighter side, I don't know how much lighter, but the lighter side is I have nail files for anyone that wants.
Nail files.
Nail files. That is my lighter
Always
side.
helpful, always helpful.
I love that.
Yes, they're really good and they're purple. And
They're really good.
Okay, so I don't really have much for today. I said a lot last week, so just wanted to, of course, thank you guys all for your support. And I've been working with a lot of agents on different claim situations, and it's great to see you guys all communicating and letting me know when something's going on, so we can make sure that Tanisha and myself are involved. And especially for your office, I want to make sure that you guys have the best service possible. So just keep me in the loop, keep me involved, and you guys are doing a great job.
You're training them to call you. That's
Yes.
why they're calling you.
And I will be out of town tomorrow, Friday. This is not for fun of it, though. My grandma died. So but she was 92, so she lived a long life. The other one's 96 and still alive.
Damn, you got some genes. You're gonna be around as our person for a long time.
So anyways, thank you guys, and I will be back next week, but I'll have someone answering my calls, and just let me know if you need it.
Thank you, Duncan.
You're welcome. I'm wearing your shoes.
Honey, you look so fly.
Yeah.
Haley, are you on there today, or you're here? No, Haley should be on her way. Teaching a class. All right, what do we got? Birthdays. We got Gerardo tomorrow. We got Christina on the 1st. We got Jason Lavin on the 2nd. Sharon Bostomsky and Jean on the 3rd and 4th. Janine Robinson. All right, you got some closing escrows this week. Duran and Jordan and Christina Kim. Oh, Christina, this has been a journey of about at least 8 months to a year, right? It's been there for a while. Also, we have some new escrows. Itasca and Morning Glory for Christina Kim. We got Tiffany and Alex Dion on Clark. Alex also on Coanga. Michael Flanagan on Yale. Steve and Champ on Rockcliffe. And Woodward team on Stearns. Congratulations, you guys. Good week in real estate. There you go. We got some closed leases. The Woodward team and Antron and Day Young Her and Pete Bonacore and Heidi Davis and Linda Roth and Christina all have leased out some properties this week. Also 2 referrals. Amazing. The Woodward team and the Barentine group in Seal Beach and Knoxville, Tennessee. You all right? Good referrals. All right, new listings, single family. Dragon, you want to talk about your lovely Alta Loma property?
Yes, it's not a single family, but it is,
yes.
you know, like it is a wonderful condo. Many of you came yesterday during the caravan, and thank you so much for coming. This is a great condo, move-in shape in a great building, 1 bedroom, 2 or like 1.5 bath. HOA fees are only $623 for a full service luxury building that has a 24 hours concierge and security. It has pool, it has spas, gym, tennis court, sauna, and like 20 and more guest parking spots. And a doggy run, big doggy run, yeah. So it's in the heart of West Hollywood, in between Santa Monica Boulevard and Sunset on Alta Loma, so just below Sunset Plaza, on a quiet street that is like cul-de-sac, dead end. So it's surprisingly super quiet, and you're walking distance close to everything. So amazing combination of style, comfort, and unbeatable location.
Yeah, the condo faces it faces
Hills,
into the
like,
back.
and like
So
hills.
it's extra quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, extra quiet there. That's what I was trying to get out. Okay, well, that was quick. Samantha Allen has a lease, 2,300 for a guest house, right?
Yes, it's a guest house, and one of the things I realized which is so interesting is when you search in the MLS, so this is the back house, it does not have dedicated parking, but it's on a residential street with all houses, so parking is not an issue, there's no permits or anything, but I realized when people do a search, they might put in one parking spot and this won't come up, so it's just something to think about with MLS searches. I think the fewer criteria you search for, the better, because I have another scenario with rentals where someone's looking in an area that's not here, and we have a reciprocal MLS, but nothing came up, and I'm like, let me limit it. So what happened is I was putting pets, call, or yes, and it turns out in their reciprocal MLS, that whole field just didn't communicate. So it's like, you gotta get a little creative with MLS searches, and we wanna put in everything our clients want, but sometimes that will actually eliminate things. So like this one, I feel like people might not be seeing it because it's 0 parking spaces, but in the terms, I put plenty of parking, no issue. So just something to keep in mind with your MLS searches. But yeah, it's a great furnished unit. They can deliver it unfurnished with a year lease, no problem. They're looking for 6 months minimum. So yeah, if you have a long-term tenant who wants it unfurnished, they'll take it out. But it's great. It's a back house, beautiful gardens. Yeah.
In
Mar Vista.
Why is it that like everything that's like supposed to be our tools is not figured out? Like you would think that MLS is across should at least have the same, like basic categories, and like everything should be uniform.
Yeah, the problem is human beings, right?
Yeah.
Because
I'd rather have that than
she's
that.
talking about the information that is input by the agent. So the deficiency is in what's put in and what's not put in and how it's,
Yeah.
right? So it's really
But even just this
Here
discrepancy
comes-
that 2 different MLSs are not pulling the same categories, that
Yeah.
should not be the
So,
case. Yeah.
so I just helped an agent with an input into Slim, and it's a little different now, right? And there's a different description box for aggregated information, aggregated descriptions. Now, I don't know if that applies to other MLSs, like in CRMLS and such, but if it's getting aggregated out to, Zillow or non-broker sites, right, that people can search on, you want to make sure that you put the description.
Yeah, it's a different,
Separate.
it's a
field.
different count of the amount of
You-
letters you can use. But what I've found is depending on the third-party aggregator, sometimes the regular description goes in and sometimes that one goes in. So just make sure that if you're updating
But
one,
make
you
sure
update
at
them
least have
both.
that backup in for
Yeah.
that second aggregated description.
So I think to Samantha's point, the bottom line is when you're inputting a listing, be as comprehensive with information as you possibly can be. But when you're searching a listing, be a little more vague.
Completely vague. Like if they want a pool, don't put pool, because a lot of people don't click the box pool.
Yep.
Or they do click the box and it says room for.
Yeah.
So, and it will still show up as pool.
Yep.
Yeah, so
All that.
blank.
This is where it starts to get. Yeah.
And then CRMLS is now, which a lot of you, if you're looking outside of the west side, you'll see CRMLS listings. They are now doing a concession section. They used to do a concession section after it closed. If there were concessions for credits or whatever, you could put that in. Now it's in the listing because of the NAR thing. So, and it can be either a percentage or a dollar amount.
So it's there.
Yeah, in a different way.
And then a different MLS.
I know. Well, our
Yeah,
MLS.
that's-
But whether that translates to ours,
Do you think it's gonna work its way over to us, Rich? Yeah,
that line will eventually.
yeah, Rich just said.
Yes, yes, it will eventually work over to the MLS, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people in this office are with CRMLS already. Thank you. All right.
Well, that's another thing to know, and I've said this before. If any of you have an IDX website with Claw as your IDX, just know if your clients are searching on your website, the CRMLS listings will not appear. Just be aware of that. So if you have a client looking in Pasadena and they're looking on your website, a lot of those listings are not going to show up.
Those listings don't come over, Rich?
No. That's a Claw thing. They will
But Claw and CRMLS share data, so I don't understand that.
not to third-party IDX websites, because CRMLS will feed into our MLS when we're looking at it, and it feeds in directly to Zillow and Redfin, but it will not feed to IDX websites.
Yeah, but first of all, IDX, it's not an IDX website. IDX is just a conduit between your membership at the MLS and your website. It's just bringing that information over. I'm gonna have to check into that, because that's something about that.
It's been going on for a
It's been
while.
going on for a while. That's why I'm a member of CRMLS.
Yeah, it forces
solely
you.
for those listings to appear on my website.
It's trying to force agents to join other MLSs. They withhold stuff. It's same within the Valley. Like I'm in Claw, and then if I have to literally do like a very detailed search to pull some of these out that should have already come out because I'm not a member of the Valley MLS, and it's not great. It's a money grab.
That's a new thing too. The Valley just moved over to CRMLS last year.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying they're trying to make us join them all.
We'll check it. That's something about that sounds weird, but let's check it out. All right, Heidi Davis listing around the corner. I think you back right up. I think it's right over there.
Yeah.
Right.
Park right.
Right. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,874 square feet for just under $8,000 per month. Lovely house. I think it's the house Heidi lived in, right? I think.
She used to live there.
Right.
She rented.
Laura Anderson on Mansfield, 1091 and a half, has a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 540 square feet for 2,900. Seems reasonable to me. It's a tiny one. Laura Anderson also has on Corning a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,164 square feet, on another condo for 3,400. Yeah.
And that one is, I think, still listed for sale as well.
This one here.
Yeah.
All right. Pocket listings coming soon. What do you got?
I have a listing going live next week, 1365 Linda Vista in Pasadena. It's 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 2,373 square feet. Really great area, right in North Arroyo, right across, like walkable to the Rose Bowl. If you like to walk.
Parade, the Rose Bowl, in the middle of it all.
Yeah, no, it's great. French Normandy, so a lot of sweet details.
Did we say the price?
I think
About
2-2.
range, 2-2 range?
Yeah, 2-2.
Gotcha.
So we'll be open, we're gonna go live next week. We'll be open the following weekend, Saturday, Sunday for brokers, caravan on the Thursday. And then, so 2 weekends of Saturdays and Sundays.
And then into escrow.
That's the hope.
That's the plan. All right, anybody else? Who else has coming soon?
Just in case anybody or anybody's clients are looking possibly for a place in Mammoth as their own, getaway or something. It could be an income property. My clients owned a townhouse there that I referred to an agent over there. It's 1.5. They bought it like 6 years ago for 800. It's worked wonderfully for them as an income property, and in between rentals, they stay there. They have since then grown and bought in Park City, so they're now looking to cash out of this, moving on up, yeah. So, but it's a great, great place. So just as an idea, that's out there. And I might also have a listing working on it in Santa Clarita in Valencia, 3-bedroom house, that's like 800 range, so. And a lot of people, when they're being outpriced, even in the valley on these things, they move out and look in these areas and cute neighborhoods a lot, good schools also out there.
Wide streets, sidewalks,
Sidewalks, exactly.
yards.
You have to be aware that zombie realtors out there.
Zombie one?
Yes.
Who else? Anybody else have any pocket listings coming soon? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, we're gonna know what the next question is wants and needs. Fill the bucket. What do you got? Nobody has any wants?
I have one.
Come on,
Okay, let me
break
see.
it down.
I sat on a manufactured home and, they're trying to find a buyer for, anybody. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, manufactured home. It went down. It was 164 and then it went down to 134 and now it's 125.
Wow.
But the monthly, I think that people are having a problem with the monthly lease amount is 2,200.
Oh.
Whatever the land lease is 183. It's in Torrance, 24200 Walnut.
Yeah,
They're having a
I'm
problem
always
with
curious,
the
right?
lease in the
It's in
lease.
Torrance, okay. With that monthly, you get utilities.
Let's see, I think it's the month, and that monthly lease amount plus the mortgage, whatever the mortgage is gonna be.
Yeah, it's in addition to the mortgage.
It is.
Yeah, it's in addition, yeah. But the question is, what do you get for that, right? It's like an HOA fee, right? Because you get the land lease is $100 or so, $180 or so, and then you have $2,000 for associated. You have to
Monthly.
get something
It says
out of
mon-
that.
it says
There must be
monthly
sewer
lease
system,
amount,
you must get
2,200.
2,002, you
I
must
would
get.
check that.
I bet
That
you-
sounds
It's a little
wrong.
extreme.
Yeah.
How much time is left on the land lease? Because that could be the issue.
Well.
Well, 2,200 a month.
That's a huge issue too, yeah.
It's only 180.
But it could be at the end. I mean, the land lease could be up in 10 years. And if it's up in 10 years and they decide you got to move your house.
Yeah, this is Torrance though. I think I don't know that it's a tribal land lease in Torrance. I think it's anyway.
I'm having that issue with my listing that's coming up. It's a land lease and it's a condo, it's a townhouse. So you can't move your house. You just lose it. And that's coming up and it's like 38 years left or something, which sounds okay, but it's not okay to a lot of people because once you buy it, you're the last owner. Possibly, unless they renew and there's no guarantee. So land leases are a tricky, tricky little monster.
Yeah.
Especially if you can't move your house. In yours, they can move it. But if it's something else, you just lose it.
Yeah. I've never really
Which is
heard
insane.
of that happening, but it's a renegotiation of the fees is really what
The only reason I say this is because that gentleman that was here, who was a part of that investment group,
Uh-huh.
he wouldn't touch my property
Because it was a,
because the land lease, and he right now is in litigation in Huntington Beach area with a land lease that is due to renew in 16 years. They sent out a notification to all the houses, we're not renewing. So they're all losing their houses in 16 years. So it's happening in Orange County. I don't know if it happened, you know, I'm just saying,
I bet
just,
you that doesn't happen.
That's
It's not gonna
16 years of litigation.
Yeah, it's still.
There's no way.
I mean, it's a red flag for you're trying to sell it, yeah.
They're probably just trying to get people to buy the lots.
That would be awesome, but you never know.
Yeah, it's a negotiating tactic. Who else? Anybody else, wants, needs, fill the bucket?
I have a need for Rich's phone number because I tried texting him and,
Yeah, he's got you blocked already.
yeah, no, it's like went green and said this is a landline in my chain. I don't know what that's happening.
You've been blocked.
Oh, come on, Rich. Thought we were bros.
Too many questions, Tracy.
Uh, There's a approval process.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Charlotte.
Now, Brian has my number, just ask Brian.
What else we got? Anybody? Anybody wants, needs, fill the bucket? Okay.
Let's do it, people. Let's go get some business.
Yep, get out there and get it. Get your unfair share. Agreed. Thanks, Rich.